All right. Hi, everybody. We're having some major issues. Dave cannot hear me through his earbuds. So it's a bit of
Or
a
at
shit
all.
show, or at all. He can hear me through a phone, but
Yeah.
you can talk, and I think you can be heard now, Dave.
Yeah. Well, all right.
There you go. I mean, I guess
Hello.
there we go. Does that work? That seems like it might work. Can everyone hear Dave? This is making me feel so old. Well, Dave, we're getting into this right at the things are already happening. I think he just got sworn in. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh my God.
We were so
Hold
busy.
on.
Did you just spill your iced tea?
Yeah.
Okay, Dave just spilled his iced tea. We can't hear. Dave can't hear me, but here we go. We're doing this because we have to. It's too important. We've seen a lot from Amy Klobuchar this morning. She's been a real hero, a real unbelievable. It's been a real. Dave, are you there? Or are you cleaning up iced tea? Exactly. It's been a real ass kiss fest. A lot of asses getting kissed. Everybody's kissing everybody's ass. Very enjoyable. And you're starting to get the sense, Dave, and I know you're cleaning up iced tea that you spilled all over your couch and maybe your floor, but you're starting to get the sense, I think, that we're back as a country, as a society. We are back. We are number one again. We were maybe not as much number one as we were before, but now we are back to number one. And you just get a sense that everything that has been bad is ended. Do you feel that, Dave, or are you still cleaning up iced tea? You feel that? Okay, great. Yeah, and I think, and you can see right there, Joe Biden is behind a bunch of glass. Amy Klobuchar seems to be the host of the event. I guess we would have known that had we done any research. But again, the breaking news here is Dave's glass has, I believe, broken or spilled at minimum. And
The glass did not break.
okay, so the glass is not broken, but the iced tea is everywhere. And we have Amy Klobuchar speaking right now. And Joe Biden is standing. To proving a lot of people wrong, Dave, Joe Biden is again standing. He's still capable of standing. It also looks like the iced tea one on the couch is what I'm sort of sensing. But Joe Biden is standing and he's walking and he's going to the microphone. So this is going to be big. This is Joe Biden speaking to the American public as the first time since an election of him, since he's been elected president of the United States. So it is very exciting. And he's old. I mean, let's not mince words. This man is not young. This man is not. I see a few hundred people just joined us. Dave spilled iced tea all over his couch. He's cleaning it. He can't hear me through his headphones, so everything is fine. Boy, not a lot of people showed up either, Dave. Doesn't look like a lot of people have shown up to this event.
Our event or the inaugural?
To the inauguration.
Yeah, I guess I heard that they did not sell a lot of tickets. I guess they didn't do a lot of promo on Twitter.
And
they were heavy on Facebook, but a lot of people have left Facebook. So
doesn't that speak to the point that the Trump supporters have been making, that if Joe Biden can't get a lot of people to this inauguration, does it not speak to the idea that he is less popular, therefore unlikely that he was elected? I would love to get your thoughts on that.
If Joe Biden was actually elected, I have no idea. I got to be honest. I have not paid attention to this election until today. So I don't think, from what I've seen, not much has happened. So just a standard run-of-the-mill election, I guess. But if I were to just come up with a theory, just not knowing anything about this election, I would say, yeah, he probably didn't get elected.
And for those of you asking, we will not be showing anything other than our faces. So it's just, we're going to talk about what we see. But yeah, so, and Dave, Joe Biden's old. I don't know if we've clocked exactly the number. And then we see Hillary Clinton, George W. Bush, Mike Pence, Bill Clinton. A lot of people think they're lizards. Dave, what are your thoughts on that? Are these lizards in human skin clothings, or are these people?
I got to give a little bit of blowback on the lizard thing. I don't think they're lizards. I haven't seen I haven't seen. I don't know what how lizards present if they're a public faces. I just feel like this isn't what lizards are. Like, if they were lizards, wouldn't someone be pulling out like a rodent to eat?
Well, the idea, Dave, is that they eat unborn babies. But unfortunately, we're going to have to put a pin in that because Joe is still up there talking. Now, is it just me or do his eyes and Melania's eyes seem similar? They seem to both have this sort of very shut eye situation going on.
No, they trade eyes. Oh, you mean just the shut eyes? Yeah, both of them haven't really learned what the sun is completely. Like they've been trying to figure that out for a while.
Well, to be fair, the last time Melania was out in the sun, her husband looked through an eclipse. So I would be distrustful myself.
You would be distrustful.
I would be distrustful. Yes.
Okay. Well, then you're distrustful. I'm not. I would never be distrustful.
Okay. Now, Dave, we already missed. Kamala Harris was already sworn in. Joe Biden might have already been sworn in.
We did. We missed. Yeah, they apparently say 12 noon or 9, and then they don't do that. Oh, here's a speech. Do we want to listen to the speech at all?
We can listen to this. Sure, we can tune into a little bit of this. Sure.
Millions of jobs have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed. A cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred.
I wonder where my microphone, my remote control went during the iced tea crisis. It's now known as an iced tea crisis. What happened on this morning? A lot of people are expecting an event to occur, some sort of trouble, some sort of action by insurrectionists, and what that turned out to be was a massive iced tea spill and a sound issue.
You're claiming that you think that that the MAGA people are behind the iced tea.
Yeah, this is a clear iced tea situation, and we as a country have to figure out how to deal with it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Now, it seems that what Joe Biden is saying, Dave, and not to take away from the iced tea thing, it's empty, it's crazy, we're all losing our shit. He is now the president. Is he the oldest president we've had, Dave?
Joe Biden? Oh, yeah. He's really old.
Okay.
He's barely alive. That's the thing. Like, we chose a president that barely knows what's happening. He isn't sure what's going on. He should be sleeping a lot. Like, this is a guy we should be like, hey, do you want to take a nap now? And like, that should be his day. Like, you wake him up, he goes out, you put a deck of cards in front of him. He moves those around a little bit. He can't figure out what they are. And then you go, do you want another nap now? Do you want to take another nap? That should be what's happening.
And Dave, I just want to point out very quickly, someone pointing out that they think potentially Russia is behind this. And someone called me an onion. Not an onion. We're not going to do this again.
Situation?
A lot of people say the Russians might have hacked your glass.
Yeah, I would not be surprised based on everything I know about Russia. It's a large country. They like bears. So it's pretty suspicious.
Not shock any of us. So we have a new president. That has happened. Joe Biden, now the president. Joey Biden, now the president.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that once he was inaugurated, we all agreed to start calling him Joey.
And the transportation secretary is Corn Pop. Not a lot of people know that.
No, I know. Big day for Corn Pop.
Big year for Corn Pop. Now, let's turn very quickly, Dave, to the other side where Trump has gone. Trump, normally a president would be at this event, handing over the keys. Now, the Trump's nuclear codes are now null and void. They have changed. It's like when you get a new debit card in the mail. You've got your old one doesn't work anymore as soon as you call the number. This is the same thing that happened with the new codes. So his new codes, but Trump is not there. Trump is already at Mar-a-Lago. Is strange fitting? How do you feel about this? Is it odd? Is it fine? What do you think?
I would say that is what should happen every time. You shouldn't go. I didn't think Hillary Clinton should have gone. A lot of these times, these guys are like, my opponent's a fucking piece of shit. Then why would you want to go and be like, hey, it's all fair. You just get to win and totally do whatever you want for 4 years and ruin the country. So shake hands. Fuck that. Just get on a plane and bail. I'm all for it.
Now, just to push that thread a little bit further, if you're watching a sporting event and the players, one team loses and the other wins, do you not encourage handshaking at the end of that? Is that another time for
Nope.
people to just leave?
Handshaking is dumb. I
Right.
don't know. I don't feel any reason to handshake and say good job. I understand why they do it in professional sports, but yeah, I think that you should, but specifically in like a youth sports situation, I think that you should be able to stab your opponent.
Okay, let's not do any more of that. Joe's still
The
talking.
winner. I'm talking about the winner gets to stab and kill the loser.
Shut up for a little while, I think is what we're all trying to say.
And just leave them in.
Stop talking now. Quiet.
I would call it a death pile.
We're going to listen to Joe for a second.
Yep.
Let's meet this moment as the United States of America. If we do that, I guarantee you we will not fail. We have never, ever, ever, ever failed in America.
That's true.
Going back to the beginning.
America's never failed.
At this time, in this place, let's start afresh.
Let's start afresh.
Let's begin to listen to one another again. Hear one another. See
Gareth.
one another.
Yes, Dave.
Show respect.
Whoa! Sorry, we'll put a pin in what's going on with Joe. Dave, you got more iced tea. Was that
Yeah,
brought
my
to you?
wife brought me.
Your wife brought it to you. Okay.
Brought me more iced tea, and she laughed because she said, "Oh my God, we both spilled our drinks at the same time." I spilled mine in the living room.
All right. For those of us who are single and lonely, it's not the best thing.
If
to
you
do.
don't know
Shut
what
up.
love is, that's what love is.
Dave, stop talking. Now,
We don't usually come together though.
this is going out live just to again affirm that
Yeah.
there are.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
okay. Just wanted to make sure that you understood that completely.
Yeah.
So Dave, it's an exciting time. Now you, I would say more than most people I know are expecting some unintentional fireworks today as far as what we might see out of rioters or some of the right wing or the Antifa. Are you a lizard? Is that what you're trying to reveal? Okay. Are you surprised we haven't heard anything yet? Are you
out of Antifa or
out of the Antifa posing as MAGA people who we all know were behind the Capitol riots?
No, once they put up fences around everything. I think that's the end of the armed insurrection, because I think that fences are really intense. And I think that when most armies, if I might be wrong here, but I think that most armies over history, when they see a fence,
You're getting emotional.
sorry, I had a little bit of COVID. When they see a fence, they go, I can't. That's
Impossible. Well, that's why
fence is a big.
that's why it's defense. That's why at sporting events teams hold up to the D and then the fence. It's the defense. Joe Biden still talking. I wonder, it's really going on. Let's dip in for a second here and see what
Joe
Graham
Biden always talks.
It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever.
I missed the
Not
setup, but
ever.
something's never going to happen. So that's good. Something's never happening.
Yeah. A lot of things never happen.
To all those who supported our campaign, I'm humbled by the faith you placed in us.
Mm-hmm.
To all those who did not support us, let me say this. Hear me out as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart.
Take a measure of me and my heart, he just said.
So be it.
That's the best time.
That's America.
That's for the coroner.
Yeah.
Peaceably. In the guardrails of our republic is perhaps this nation's greatest strength.
Boy, it's interesting. Now, the fact that he is losing a step, Dave, in 3 years, what do you think we're going to be looking at? A big tub of goo?
3 years from today,
Yeah.
I think this guy will be dead. I
Great.
think we'll be on to the lady, whatever her name is,
Kamala
and Kamala Harris, and I think that we'll be in absolute nightmare because the Republicans will have both the Congress and the Senate.
That's exciting.
And everyone will
That
be
is
freaking out. And
That is something to look
the
forward to.
boats will be coming to the shores, and people will be jumping on board, and like too many people are trying to get on, and some are holding on to the side.
That's
How do I get out here? Take me to the OPR, or wherever.
Me,
You know, the
it
boat's
sounds a little
going.
bit like Dunkirk, and that's a movie that I really enjoyed.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Now, I just very quickly, he's still somehow talking. I mean, Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
he doesn't. This guy doesn't shut up.
Right.
He doesn't. That's one of the things about Most presidents. It's just
and most old people. So we're getting the Venn diagram of an old president, which means long, winding tails just going nowhere. Can you get the collapse of an American empire as a gift? No, Anita. Alex, no, you cannot. I combined your name.
we're all getting it as a gift.
Dave, what about those people who think that maybe the problem here is just marketing? I mean, does it make more sense to just lose the United from the name of the country and then we can sort of stay as is? It's kind of a rebranding. You know, like when Radio Shack became the Shack. Like if we just sort of drop the United, doesn't that kind of take the pressure off of us a little bit to be united? Can't we then live in, we're just the states of America. We could just be called some states of America.
And we can just call ourselves SOA.
Some of the states of America.
States of America, SOA.
Oh, just so. Okay, so states of America. The states, yeah, SOA.
Yeah. I think we're not united. Like, for instance, I hate you.
Right.
And we're in different states. You live in New York City. I live in Washington State. And
exactly.
And those two states traditionally have gone to war 7 or 8 times.
Major beef.
And I think that MB, that we're an MB situation. And God, I just cannot get over how poorly attended this event is. Like they just did not sell tickets.
People really did not show up for this thing.
They just didn't sell tickets.
You and I know what it's like to be about to do a performance and you didn't hit your numbers. It's embarrassing.
Oh no, we did a show in Charlotte. We get it. We know exactly what it's like to have a weird empty room.
We think happened was that only people named Charlotte showed up because that's the only way to excuse those numbers. It was about 12.
That might have been bad for us to advertise it as that, though.
Yeah, that it's a Charlotte convention. That was bad. Hold on, Dave. Yeah. I'm going to put this blind down real quick.
I'm going to take my headphones out because they're not working at all. As you can see, there's a lot of soldiers lined up. That's a sign that things are going well. Whenever you have a presidential event ringed by thousands and thousands of soldiers, you know that your country is
ready to go,
doing well. It's on the mend.
Things are good.
That's all I have to say. It's not a bad sign. It's not like everything we did overseas is now coming home to visit us here at all. President Clinton is asleep. They just showed him, and he's eyes shut.
Now, is it just me, Dave, or do you picture President Bill Clinton sleeping like this?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how it works.
And Dave, what about the reports that Trump has already been seen at Epstein's Island looking around? Any thoughts on that?
Trump's, from what I understand, and this was written in the plans, 1201. It just said "dick out," and then that was the rest of the day. Dick out. So
that could have also been Nixon's transfer of power, but we'll never know. Joe Biden still talking. I guess it's probably worth dipping in again.
And engage with the world once again.
Yeah.
Not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges.
Yeah.
Right.
And we'll lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
That's a good one. Politicians love to do that, Dave. They're big fans of switching something around. You know, like if I were to just say, like, you know, it's not about how well I can throw a basketball. It's how well a basketball can throw me. You know,
is that an actual?
That's Truman.
That's Truman?
Truman.
I had no idea. That's really amazing.
But they love to do that. Now, do you worry at all that that Joe Biden that nobody could really meet this moment? That there is not a person, or do you feel like there were maybe people who could really? You know what? I don't want your socialist answer. You can shut your fucking mouth. Nobody wants to hear it from you. Okay.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of people that could have met this moment, and I think we picked the exact one who can't. But other than that, I think it's a solid choice.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Betray Your Soul, for $5 we've been given today, Dave, and That's what they call. That's our campaign financing. That's how we're doing this. This is grassroots. Now, what do you expect out of Trump, Dave, in the coming weeks, months? What do we expect? Do we expect a sort of docile Trump? We sort of saw in the 11th hour, maybe Trump sort of, softening a little bit. He didn't go for any crazy pardons. He didn't try to pardon himself. He didn't try to pardon his family. He just pardoning Steve Bannon was a crazy one. Do you think that is a sign of things to come?
Well, as far as Trump goes, I think that based on what we've seen, you don't actually have to do that with the microphone. I have in my okay. So I think based on what we've seen, so if you found a rabid dog in the forest and you didn't put the rabid dog down, but instead you brought the rabid dog back to a kennel and then fed it steroids for like 20 straight days and then released it, I think that's sort of the same thing that's going to happen here.
Great. Sure. Okay. Well, that's good. So that's a sign of pessimism, I would say. A little bit of
I don't know if it's pessimism or it's excited about the future. It's hard to say which one of those that would be.
By the way, Joseph R. Biden still talking. And Dave, a fun fact: you are able to pick the religious document that you are sworn in on. Thanks for dressing up for the occasion. That's awesome. And that's ketchup and mustard. Did Dylan give you that shirt?
Yeah, that's the shirt from Dylan.
But today Joe Biden picked a Bible that had been in his family for 127 years, and that's what he got sworn in. That's what he put his hand on and
that's
swore
amazing.
the oath of office to.
That's amazing because I not only don't believe that, but I also think it's just a weird number to pick.
It's true.
And
it's true. That is true. That is a 127-year-old Bible. And Dave, fun fact: Joe Biden was 15 years old when his family was gifted that Bible. I don't know if you know that. So that's exciting. So this is our first president who's 143. And that's awesome. I think that's exciting. Look at this guy.
I didn't realize that.
He doesn't look like he's over 95. Yeah.
How old is your family Bible?
My family Bible is about 6 months old. We are newly practicing Christians. We got born again during the pandemic. So that's exciting. Oh, boy. And by the way, thank you, Christian Johnson. Someone remember last time they gave us $400 and didn't mean to?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we should ask that person if they meant to give us $200.
Yeah, so make sure the amount that you give is the amount you want to give, and no pressure. You're allowed to watch this for free.
Too much, just say I didn't mean to do that, please.
We don't want to do it through Google. We've learned you do it through Google. That's what you do. Joe Biden's still going. Dave, you have to be a little astounded at this age that the length of time that this man is standing here. Now, some people think that they shoot him full of horse drugs. Do you agree with that, or where do you stand on that?
Did you say horse drugs?
Yeah, like things to get a horse juiced up for a race.
I think that they put so many drugs in him to get him to talk like this that it would kill the normal human. But that he's just used to it now. I think he got used to it campaigning.
Right.
And this guy is so fucking juiced, which is cool because that means this is 2 presidents in a row that are just going to constantly be on speed.
It's pretty good. It's safe to say that the pharmaceutical industry is alive and strong in this nation, and that's what we were founded upon. Any things you're going to miss about Donald Trump, Dave? I'm curious about that. If there's anything, for instance, I could say this was the only president in your lifetime since Jimmy Carter not to get involved in an international conflict, not to get involved.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, he popped off a couple
this guy will get us in at least 2 wars. Venezuela's
very hot, right? Very hot.
Yeah, I guess that's exactly. I was going to say I'll miss the diapers, but this guy's got to wear diapers, right? I mean, Trump was a full-on diaper supporter. I think he had Mr. Diaper come to the White House a lot and talk to him, and the Mr. Diaper has the mustache.
Mr. Diaper for a while was in charge of the foreign policy, which leads us back to the idea of no international conflict.
That's right.
Do you miss the diapers? Anything else? I mean, there was a certain joie de vivre that Trump had. I think we can agree that Trump was, he was different. He was exciting. Right? You didn't need to drink coffee any longer.
Yeah.
Right? It was instead of the slow body blows in the corner, Trump just threw haymakers, which I love.
let's face it, he was an exciting president. He was a fun president. He made every single day exciting and new.
Yes.
And you got to give him credit for that.
And Dave, as far as Joe Biden has stopped speaking, now a rogue cow. It looks like a MAGA person has taken the microphone. Dave, sorry, it looks like a MAGA cowboy has. I'm not sure the trumpet guy is still playing, but the MAGA. I think that's Garth Brooks. It's Garth Brooks singing "Amazing Grace." I thought that was a rioter. I'm so sorry.
Mine is still on Biden. My
oh well, you must not be
still have
live.
the Biden feed.
You must have spilled iced tea on your time. Yeah, now Garth Brooks is up there singing. Interesting that he chose Garth Brooks and not Chris Gaines. I know a lot of people love the Chris Gaines angle Garth Brooks did. That's when Garth Brooks decided to pretend to be a more mainstream rock singer.
Hold on. You're talking to a Gaines head, right? So I love
you're a Gainer.
Gaines. I went on tour with Gaines, followed him city to city. I was in charge of all the crocheting of all the merch.
Now, maybe you can help me with this. I heard Garth Brooks, huge asshole. Chris Gaines, total sweetheart. Is that true?
Oh my God, night and day, like Jekyll and Hyde. We used to say that. That was like something we'd say around the office at the groupie. We have a groupie office. And we used to say that a lot. We would say, this is really like a Jekyll and Hyde thing, isn't it? And Gaines is so great, and his chest is hairier.
Some of us are starting to doubt the validity of what you said.
His chest is definitely hairier.
Singing. There's a woman behind with a mask and a scarf, and it makes her look like she has an elephant trunk. Dave, did you know that elephants can't get cancer? Isn't that interesting?
Is that a thing?
That's the thing. Elephants do not get cancer. Anyway,
how come we aren't mating with elephants?
That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how good Garth Brooks looks.
Well, so is anybody working on giving them cancer?
There's nobody. That's not even worth discussing any longer, Dave. It's really not.
You can take the baby ones away from the parents and do cancer experiments on them to figure out how to give them.
Garth Brooks has that thing where your head gets big enough that you get a bit of a roll on the back of your head when you lift your head. Garth Brooks has that. That's just to update everyone. Also, not wearing a mask. I know he's singing, but we could say that this is dangerous. Thank you, Matthew C. He gave us $1.49 for a sticker of some, a super sticker.
I love a super sticker. What happened? What do we do with a super sticker?
Oh, those are what they're just called. But it's still $1.40. We'll take it. Thank you, everybody. And Garth Brooks is done singing. He's shaking Joe Biden's hand. Now, Dave, Garth Brooks, we got to think that that's a nod to the right? Isn't that a way of Joe Biden saying, I'm not such a big asshole. I don't hate you people. Garth Brooks is here.
No, Garth Brooks notoriously did not.
Hunter Biden there. Hunter Biden. Now, what do you think Hunter has planned for tonight, Dave?
Are those just all flags? What a waste of cloth.
Everything is a flag because I don't know if you know this. The more flags you have, the more it covers up your flaws. That's why the flag pin was so popular. The more flags you involve, it kind of is a way to tarp over your disgusting corruption. So the more flags you get, the more you love it. That's why Donald Trump physically inserted himself into a flag on stage at an event once.
Hey, are you an American? Because you sound kind of like really negative on what I would consider maybe the greatest day in American history.
I love this country. I've always loved this country. So you can go screw yourself, okay?
Well, is that water, I hope?
This is a little bit of something I like to call something.
Yeah, this is a really shitty attended event.
He's cleaning it up. Do you see the guy cleaning the podium?
How do they not sell tickets to this fucking thing? Like, this is like, I could sell this out on Eventbrite with just a little bit of promotion.
You need a barker, or you need a street barker, just like the guys in Vegas who hand out the escort cards. Just some people on the street going, "Hey, you want to see a new president?"
And whoever did the seating is also, you can change how many tickets you can sell by putting seats closer together. This is really fucking stupid. Whoever set this whole event up.
They certainly weren't worried about the numbers. Now, Dave, we have I don't know who is speaking now, but she is gesturing a lot. She's wearing I would say a bright yellow jacket, and has a sort of I don't know, a kind of a big red ring over her head. She seems to be very pointed, but we're now getting to the point where what is this? I wonder what the speaker lineup is for the rest of the day. I mean, we've seen Joe Biden. Now, Jill Biden is still there. Now, Dave, I don't know if you know this. A lot of people are worried that Jill Biden is not a doctor. What do you call Jill Biden? Do you call her Dr. Jill Biden? I call her Mr., but I've just decided I'm going to call her whatever I want.
I call her Face. I call her my face girl.
Good. Now, after this, there is normally a walk, correct, Dave? A walk to the White House. That's normally how it works, right?
Yep.
But that is not going to be happening today, is it? Can that happen today?
No, that's not happening. What happened is that a bunch of people want to kill the president, so he can't walk down the street, which is pretty old school. That's been going on for a while.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like people have hated the president for a while. Obama being the exception. It seems like people really do like Obama. Obama is there today, by the way, and I'll tell you what, Michelle was there too, and boy, she has not lost a step, Dave. Her arms are still she still looks very jacked, very ready. She's got great arms, and she was a great first lady. She's also there today, along with her hubby, Barry Obama, Barry-O. Now, who do you like better, Barack or Michelle, Dave? A lot of people have always wondered that about
you. I'm going to go with Michelle.
Interesting. Always going with the one who didn't say drop the bomb.
The woman that you didn't know who was. That's the poet. That's our poet laureate.
Sure.
She's from Los Angeles.
Great. And she's doing a great job. I haven't really listened, but she's gesturing a lot. Joe Biden, eyes still open somehow. No need for that. But a tremendous achievement by Joe Biden for being awake this long while cameras are on him. You would say that that's remarkable?
Yeah, I would say that's remarkable. I would also say that Joe Biden not being able to walk to the White House might be because he's 98 years old.
I'm going to take issue with that, Dave. He did a trot the night that he said he won the presidency. He ran. Now, it was not about 30 feet, and I will say this, there are notes on the running. It was not a fluid run. It wasn't how most of us run. It's how when you're at the gym and you see someone who's on like 2.3 on the treadmill, and they're kind of doing a trot, and you're like, you could walk that. But still, I think it showed a lot of us that Joe Biden still has a lot of fight left in him. He might be an old sack of raisin skin, but he's still got some heart pulsing inside of his body, even if it is fabricated from narcotics. The point
a lot of people will tune in. A lot of the young people will tune in to the inauguration to watch the poetry. It's always been a big thing for kids. It's a way that we get kids invested in the inauguration, is to have a poet come out and do some poetry, because kids, I mean, if you see them on the schoolyard, they're always poeming, and they poem, they do all the P's, and
that's very true, Dave. Poetry has become huge. I want to put a pin in that just to point out very quickly. I just noticed that I look a lot like the guy in Oliver who hangs out with the orphans, the grown man who teaches them how to fence and steal.
You're a pedophile.
That's not what I'm saying, and I'm not signing off on that one bit. This is a long poem. One of the things I've always appreciated about poetry is that it's not long, is that for the most part, people will understand that it is a strange way to speak, and that they won't make it go on. This poem seems to be quite a bit longer. I guess it is worth dipping in very quickly. Now, Dave, the thing, this is maybe the thing that will interest some people. We are at a time when there is tremendous poverty in this country. We have an out-of-control pandemic. We seem to have never been more divided. And it seems that there is a lot of confidence on behalf of the establishment that we are going to be able to heal these wounds. Now, I do believe that is possible. I believe one of the things that I found very strange about the insurrection that took place at the Capitol was that a lot of those people were unemployed, meaning that potentially there could be a connection between feeling fulfillment professionally and acting up. What do you think about that?
So are you saying put people in work camps? But I also
No.
agree with you. I agree with you that we should put people in work camps.
Not what I'm saying.
And have them dig up things like rocks and sandwiches.
No.
Whatever's in the ground.
Sandwiches are not a root vegetable. Now,
no, that's not true. Sandwiches come from.
Stick your earbuds out. Is there a reason? Because now I'm getting an echo.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear myself back in. You're home. Put them back in your goddamn ears.
Well, they don't work. That's why I took them out, but I guess I'll put them back in.
Oh. Well, maybe now I do hear myself. Maybe I was hearing myself the whole time. I don't know. It's distracting. Now there's a guy who wipes. There's a guy who wipes down the podium.
Okay, wipes down what?
The podium. This is better.
Okay, there's a guy who wipes down the podium. I'm going to need more on that.
Do you think that's COVID related?
Yes, I think that's COVID related. But also, our poet laureate is a huge spitter. Like she spits like fucking crazy.
She's what they call those a wet poet.
Yeah, she's a wet poet, and it's part of the aesthetic. It's part of the feel. It's how she gets her message across. So that's why they have the wiper there. She actually has a personal wiper that goes with her wherever she goes, and he wipes down everything.
And by the way, talk about luxury. That is a luxurious. I would love a wiper. Now, Dave, stop laughing. Mike Pence at the inauguration. Trump skipping the event. Mike Pence at the event. Again, we're getting a look there at Hunter Biden's laptop. Obviously, just a cover. As he is a Russian operative. We don't know how deep that rabbit hole goes. Right. But regardless, what do you think of Pence breaking the trend there with Trump and actually showing up to the inauguration? How do you think that plays?
I think he's going to get killed because of that and some other stuff. But that's the main one is I think he'll get killed because he came to this. And that's really showing him like, I would rather go to this thing and die than
to be fair, he almost got killed last week, and he didn't even do the inauguration. My mom has texted me an update. Garth Brooks. Okay, so there we go. That's good. And boy, you really got to say, Dave, looking at this crowd now, Obama had better numbers. He really just had way better numbers. I mean, this looks like a kindergarten graduation.
Yeah.
There's like 30 people there.
If Trump had won, how just imagine how big of a spreader event this would have been. How great it would have been.
If Trump, that's the thing that I think that we will miss. We will miss having no plan on anything.
That's right.
Biden will have some plans that are decent. Biden will have a lot of plans that are abysmal. But Trump at least never really had a plan. And I really did appreciate that. It was very relatable. Always made me feel like I could be president. That's the thing I loved about Trump.
Yeah, I mean, he would switch. He would say he was going to do something, and the next day say he wasn't going to do that, and it was a stupid idea. He would just switch all over the place. It's such a fly by the seat of your pants sort of presidency, which is who I am. It's who most of us are.
Yeah,
stay in the moment. Like you're a guy on Twitter who's deleting his tweets. Just be that guy. That's like fun. Nobody knows what's happening. It's a blast. I'm all for that.
Dave, I'm seeing here that Al Gore made a remote appearance. Gore for the inauguration. Al Gore, we remember as the guy who actually won the presidency and then just decided that he would let the Republican swinging Supreme Court make the decision and that he would go along with it. And a lot of people think that there have been precedents set in the past 20 years, say, that being one of them. And also
stealing actual
stealing elections and also not prosecuting presidents when they're war criminals, because the truth is you could argue that most presidents since Reagan have actually been war criminals and just never been prosecuted. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Going beyond the president, I see a lot of Democrats very excited that you're saying we have to prosecute these people. We have to prosecute the president to prosecute his staff and do all this stuff. And I think it's great because when Obama was president, he decided not to prosecute all the bankers, and that didn't lead to anything like fashion uprising.
Sends a message to the bankers. Keep going. Also trending, Dave, not my president. So it seems like a lot of people not excited about Biden. Bernie Sanders. You see Bernie Sanders at this?
No, he was walking. I saw him. He had it almost like he had a stack of papers. He was coming in to deliver the mail. Look at those gloves.
There's Bernie.
I mean, fuck, that guy's just that's just great. What a crazy.
I mean, he really and look at this. Even during times of socially distance, Bernie is more socially distanced than most people.
It's the best. It's the best.
Okay, so not my president. Bernie trending. I'm trying to think if there's anything else important that is trending right now. No. Now, Dave, I did come up with a little game. Philip Rivers is retiring. I thought we could play a little game very quickly because Kamala Harris checks a lot of boxes in the sense that she is of Asian descent, of African American descent. She's also a woman. She's kind of a few firsts wrapped into one. But also, what she's bringing to the table is a first husband, which we've never seen before. Or I guess what is it? Second husband? Is that what he is technically?
Second husband, yeah.
A second husband or second gentleman. So here's a game. Here's a game for you, Dave. These are some fun facts about Douglas Emhoff, who is Kamala Harris's husband. Now, some of these are real, and some of these are not real. Okay, so I'm going to go through these. And I'm going to ask you to guess which one, is it real or is it fake? So let's start here.
Okay.
Douglas Emhoff is a lawyer.
Real.
Very good, Dave. Very good.
Okay.
Douglas Emhoff is a lawyer.
That one made me nervous.
Second one, you're 1 for 1. Douglas Emhoff collects human skulls.
Ooh. Yes.
Wrong. That is a fake fact. Biden and Jill are leaving, just so we can update very quickly. So Biden and Jill leaving first, Kamala and Doug second. They're shaking hands. Barry and Biden are sharing a hug. Michelle Obama is there. It's not handing candy to George W. Bush just as of yet. Really quite an emotional goodbye. And for Obama, this has to be exciting, Dave, because it's a chance for his legacy to be preserved in some way, which is exciting. There's George W. Bush, war criminal, never convicted. Lady Gaga, she has a gold bird on her chest, showing, again, a sign of freedom.
Yeah, that's the official bird of America.
That's a bird of America. John Roberts' bald spot is my spirit animal. I don't know about yours.
Yeah.
No, all right, let's get back into the game while we have a second. Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris met on a blind date.
Ooh. Well, that's spicy. That's true. That's gotta be true.
That is true. That is true.
What a great fact.
When asked about his biggest influence, Doug Emhoff said Genghis Khan.
Yeah, I would say absolutely true.
False. That's another false one. I put that in there. Yep. So that's you're 2 for 2. No longer president-elect, which I've never enjoyed saying. I've never enjoyed saying president-elect. I'm very happy to now say President Joe Biden. Dr. Jill waving away.
So great.
Joe, not a doctor at all, walking up there.
Actually assaulted a woman, or maybe more.
No. Come on now. That's not talk of our president. We don't talk about the problems. You can see a lot of people still have no fucking clue how to wear a mask. There's still a lot of people doing the this one, which is one of my favorites.
Hold the nose out.
Nose out, always fun.
That's the best way to wear a mask because the nose is the main way that you actually get coronavirus into your body. So if you have the nose hanging out, it's like saying, I don't need a mask at all.
And we are seeing now, Dave, we are seeing Joe Biden walking, and he's walking as the first president. And if your question is, does Jill Biden's mask match her ensemble? The answer is you better fucking believe it does. It's a beautiful, beautiful blue. It's a beautiful blue. And you can see, again, you can see dignity has sort of been restored in this moment, Dave. It feels like, for all intents and purposes, America is back. And I don't care what you think or what you say, because you are a super left asshole. And you're probably one of those people who says, hey, what's everyone so excited about? We just elected a guy to the right of Reagan. But Dave, we're not going to let you do that to our little parade today. Next one, Doug Emhoff eats dogs. True or false, Dave? True
That's
or false?
100% true.
False again. That was a bit of a chestnut there for you. So I believe you're 2 of 5. Kamala and Doug had a wedding at the courthouse.
At the courthouse?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Very non-traditional. It is true. I think you're shooting 50% right now. And Joe Biden again walking, and he's still walking with Jill. And just to point out, Jill has gloves that match. Joe's mask looks to be blue, and his coat appears to be blue too. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe that he is matching as well. You can see that weird photographer. And now everybody has to walk slowly behind as they sort of wait. It's sort of wedding rules, you know, when you're at a wedding party and you have to be annoying and wait and wait and wait. Speaking of weddings, Dave, Doug Emhoff is who we were talking about. Doug has a few fun hobbies. Now, is this true or false? He loves football and fantasy football, and even had a team named Nirvana after the 90s grunge band. Is that true or false?
I'm gonna go true.
True. Again, true, Dave. You're really going with the tactic of thinking everything's true.
It's so great that we have a vice president who's married to someone who was in Nirvana, because I think Kurt Cobain would really love that. He was all about pomp and circumstance, and
Kurt Cobain, if he saw what was happening in government today, would fully support it. I have no doubt about that. Doug Emhoff can do over 1 billion push-ups, Dave. True or false? Now, remember, you've said true.
I'm going to say...
Hold on. You've said true to everyone, and this is 1 billion push-ups, which is a
I'm going to say false.
Well done, Dave. That is false. That is false. And last one, Emhoff has his own social media hashtag, and it's hashtag DougHive. True or false?
Hashtag what?
DougHive.
Doug High?
Hive.
Oh, D-Hive?
DougHive. DougHive. Fucking DougHive.
That's true.
True indeed, Dave. True indeed. Now we're seeing Obama and Clinton shaking hands on stage, Dave. God, you've got to love this. Stuff like this stresses me out a little bit, which is why I always love to have one of these. I don't know if you know about these, Dave, but these are unbelievable. These are Theraguns, and these will really take the tension out. And I get like this around inaugurations. I just get very, very stressed. And nothing like a Theragun. I can't really read what's happening because it feels like I'm having an epileptic seizure. But it looks like some real old people are still walking. A lot of old white people, Dave. And you got to love that.
What happens if you put it in your eye?
This in my eye, it bangs it. And it doesn't feel good. It's not a spot you want to have it. Obama's still out there working the crowd. Dave, you must be excited about this because it feels like we're going to get Barack Obama back into our lives for a while now.
Yeah, no, it's great. Oh, Barack Obama is someone who inspires people and gets people out there and excited. And behind that, nothing happens. But he fires them up. He gets them like, let's do this. And then there's no plan to actually do this. Then it's just like,
it's a bunch of lofty language, but that does feel pretty good, doesn't it, Dave?
Oh, everybody loves a good speech.
Thank you.
That's what it's all about. It's all about giving a great speech and get everyone excited and then not doing anything or doing the opposite. It's important. Yes,
it's excited. Remy is asking how much for me to only wear the top hat. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for me to just go top hat. I'll tell you what I can do, Dave. I can loosen the tie a little bit. I can loosen the tie, huh? Yeah, we'll see where this goes. We're drinking gin in the morning.
You're not doing this on CNN. You're not seeing more skin on CNN.
You're going to be on seeing CNN because you'll be seeing boobies. I can't get. Though Obama's still there, so he's sort of talking still. He's still sort of. Oh, he's talking to Lady Gaga. He's talking to Lady Gaga. A lot of people would love to see them combined into Lady Obamga. Is
that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Lady Barry Obamga.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Bill Clinton, of course, talking to women. Some things will never change. Bill Clinton, again, someone who has been placed at the Jeffrey Epstein Island at least once at least one time.
At
But
least
he's
once.
there
I think it was
today.
7.
And J-Lo was there. I don't know where she is. She was there at some point.
J-Lo was on Epstein's Island, or is she?
No, Dave. She's far too mature for that. But yeah, this is like this to me has this feel of SNL. It's sort of after the big show. Everybody's up on the stage, everyone's talking, and we're sort of just talking about the week we had, and God, did we bond, and oh yeah, that sort of stuff. And Mike Pence,
it's
Mike
fun,
Pence leaving.
atmosphere of people during a pandemic and one of the worst depressions that we've ever seen, while insurrectionists want to kill them. Party. It's the best kind of party.
I agree. Bill Clinton does look pretty good for his age. Yeah. Now, we see a lot of this. We see a lot of I don't understand the mask rules. People will take off their mask to talk like they're Maverick and Top Gun. It's never really made sense to me. It's still going on. The one thing we could say is that you definitely get the sense that they are being more said. That is Jennifer Lopez. And there's also Alex Rodriguez.
Hey!
Alex Rodriguez, Dave, very quick story. My father... there was a show, I don't remember what it was called, but it was with Alex Rodriguez. It was pretty recent, and he would help people. He helped Brian Dunkelman out, and my father telling me about that show was one of the greatest conversations I've ever had, because in that conversation, the line was something like, because if Alex needs you to do something, he can just make a call. He knows everybody.
He can just make a call?
Because Alex, quote, he knows everybody.
Yeah. No, Alex.
Another one of my favorite phone calls from my father. My father called me up, and the first thing he said to me was, "Do you know who Michael Bublé is?" And I said, "Yes." And then he said, "He is a dynamic performer." And that's what I found out. My father, Michael Bublé, had a restraining order on my father.
My father doesn't call me because he's dead.
It's really dark, Dave. Bernie Sanders They just showed Bernie Sanders wandering the Capitol in an army coat. It did not look like
he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know.
It did not. I will be honest. It did not look like he knew where he was going. The cameras were shooting in between two pillars, so it sort of felt like Sasquatchian, sort of like that sort of thing. And Lady Gaga really hugging. But Alex Rodriguez, Michelle Obama, Jennifer Lopez are really, really shooting. And there's Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is there, Dave. Joe Manchin, someone who for a long time has technically been a Republican, now a very powerful player in the Democratic Party. Some people say that he's going to be key on votes. Other people ask, why the fuck would a party let a guy like Joe Manchin into it and continue to let him have the keys to a car? What are your thoughts on that, David?
Well, Gareth, the thing about Joe Manchin is you have to pretend that the left doesn't exist and the left couldn't get elected in a place like West Virginia, when we all know it could, and that there's a massive leftist following there. But you have to pretend like that doesn't exist, that Joe Manchin is the only way that a Democrat can get elected there. And that way you have a Democrat that's basically a Republican, and everybody loses. And that's the importance of America.
Well, what's great is that then the Democratic Party has to kowtow to the rightness of Joe Manchin, which really does, again, I think there's just a few escape hatches for Joe Biden in this situation where Joe Biden can scapegoat people or groups in order to not get things done. It's a lot how he promised $2,000 when he was running. And then once he got in, he pointed out that, well, that was actually a sum total of the 600 plus the 1,400. But Joe Manchin likely to be, and there's Nancy Pelosi in baby blue.
Oh, I love it. You know what else is going to be a big problem that people aren't bringing up is Dianne Feinstein, our old friend, the old Confederate flag. Dianne, she's going to be a big, big problem for Democrats going forward because
Dave,
she's going to be a wrench in the machine.
I like to say,
the one retiring is always the Democrat that fucks everything up. And it's so weird that always happens. But hi, Joe Lieberman.
I like to say that I think everything's going to be fine, Steen. I wouldn't worry about that one bit. What matters, Dave, is that Trump is gone and his Twitter is gone, and that was very annoying to us. And policy or not, we're turning over new leaf. There's Nancy Pelosi again. Nancy Pelosi worth over $100 million and made most of that while she's been in office, which is strange. I believe it's Harry Truman who said, if you get rich while in politics, you're a crook. But
I don't know how that happened, and maybe a part of that might have been that for a long time it was illegal to actually do. It was legal to do insider trading in Congress until very recently. So that's a lot of the way she made her money was you could get into Congress and just legally do insider trading, and then you got to be rich. It was pretty cool.
It's a fantastic system. It really is, and it has been for a while. And there is the K hive and the D hive. There's the new vice president, female vice president, and the second gentleman. They are all standing up on the stairs. It's very poetic. Now, Mike Pence is up there with his wife Karen. She has to hold his hand, otherwise she's afraid that he'll trump other women. That's just Bible talk right there. And what do you think Trump thinks about having Pence at this event? Is he steaming mad, or what do you think he's doing? Just getting changed right now on some sort of table in a gym facility?
I think Trump is furiously watching television right now, trying to figure out how he's going to get back at all these people. Who's going to suffer the most? He wants them dead. And he hopes they die visibly on TV, and he can put their pikes around the Trump palace, their heads on pikes around the Trump palace. I think he is right now losing his mind in a way that we could never fathom. Like,
it's a bummer. And can we just point out that if he was still on Twitter, we could hear him lose his shit. So it's a shame. It's a shame in many ways, Dave. It's a shame in many ways.
So we've got some comments. Someone Betray Your Soul 38 wrote Dave's dad is in hell, which I hope so.
That's
He's
nice.
really bad. And then came back and then said, for the record, that is dark, more of a shock comment. And then donated more money to say, not my place to make such a dark joke. Sorry, Dave, you can make such jokes. My bad. And I say, everybody out there knows my feelings on my dad. When my dad died, like I ran around with sparklers and I put on a fancy hat and I dressed up like a flamingo and I did a dance. Like, it was all good.
It was amazing.
So you're all free to share in on the fact that he was a terrible human being. Everybody knows that. He would 100% be involved in Q and the Trumpism. He would be so on board with all this shit. So please.
He is greatly missed, Dave, without question. Now, Dave, I also seen the comments from Jackson that Marjorie Taylor Greene, or I think it's Taylor Greene, has already tweeted impeach Biden. Now, we know that she's going to impeach Biden or try to bring up articles of impeachment against Biden. Tomorrow, I believe, is the day.
So he's gonna have like a 1 week presidency, or
probably, yeah. What's going to be great is we can do Biden and Trump at the same time. It's a twofer. But do you think that this QAnon wing now in our politics that is out now actually fully represented by a member of Congress, do you think that's a troubling sign, or is that just a sign of American freedom blossoming further?
I think it's great. I think that it's just nice to see everybody represented in Congress.
Right.
Even if that person thinks that people in Hollywood are eating babies to get after
they molest them, to be fair. They're not, waste not, want not. You know, that's
yeah. So
they're
I
doing
think
both.
should be represented, and even if it's a horrible anti-Semitic group, then God bless them. Everybody should get a voice. It's America.
This is America last time I checked. And as we watch now, Dave, it does seem like Joe Biden is gone. Now Kamala and Doug are waiting for their Uber. They're just sort of standing there awkwardly like, Jesus Christ, this guy said he was 5 minutes away. Now it changed to 8 minutes. Now it's 3 minutes. You ever get that, Dave, when you order a car? I don't know if you remember this. There was a time when we used to order lifts and things like that. And it would be like, your driver is arriving now. And then it would be like 5 minutes. Then it would be like 10 minutes. Very distracting.
I don't think that's a thing that ever happened.
Lyft was a thing. We used to take cars. But now Joe Biden is leaving. And then there, once again, is Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's husband can't seem to get the mask over his nose. Nancy's hair looks great. I think we know how that came to be. There's only one set of rules. I'm kidding. There's not. There's two. But Pelosi's husband, though, wearing a mask, it looks like his face just lost a lot of weight because his mask is falling down like a set of pants on a fat guy who just turned skinny. And it looks like what is it? Steny Hoyer? Is that his name? Steny Hoyer. It looks like he's maybe back there. It's hard to tell with the mask. They're all so white in the government that the masks really do eliminate some of the important.
You know who would love
facial
this?
recognition.
You know what? Who would love this inauguration would be Bane.
Bane would love this. Bane would absolutely adore being able to just be like, "That's right. Today we had the inauguration, and we will do this one more time. It is I, President Bane." Now they're all going back in. But Dave, so far as I can tell, as far as Twitter and the television are telling me, nothing crazy has happened yet. Is that surprising to you?
Yeah, I'm looking online. I'm not hearing about anything bad going on, but a person who follows Q just tweeted, "Whoa, I just dipped into the Q universe." So
that's not good.
So they must be having a moment.
Now, David, is reported that Trump left Joe Biden a note, a letter.
Ooh,
that's
just
crazy.
Just smeared with his own feces, and that's what it's signed. It's just a swipe. That's it.
I mean, if we could have anything in the letter, I think we can all agree that it would be lovely to just see a smearing of Trump's feces in it, and that's what Biden opens.
I mean, how much do you want to bet though that Trump did not write it and someone wrote it? Like when you go when you go to a restaurant with a friend and they don't tip enough, and you go, "I got to go to the bathroom," and you go back and you tip more to make up for what they didn't leave. I bet that happened where. But Trump maybe left a letter. It was just like, "Fuck you, Joe." And then someone went, "Hold on, I got to go to the bathroom one last time in the Oval Office," and ran in and dropped the letter.
And then he was like, "Hurry up. We're leaving on Marine One as soon as possible." And then the person was like,
"That's right."
And then he got in Marine One, and they were like, "It sure smells like shit in here." And someone's like, "I don't know what that is." He's like, "It doesn't matter." Now we're seeing Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, Dave. A lot of people don't remember this, but Hillary Clinton 4 years ago, very close to beating Apprentice host and man behind the Hollywood Access Hollywood tape talking about grabbing women by their vaginas. Hillary Clinton, she is there. She lost to that Trump. A lot of people think it was because of Russia. Some people think it's because the Democratic Party cannot put up interesting candidates because they are beholden to corporate interests and they've been bought. And that there's been a corporate coup in this country for about 20 to 30 years. And while what we're seeing right now is the unraveling of it, while we continue to engage in political theater, you were saying.
But when you say that it was very interesting timing that at the point in American history where people were screaming for some sort of change and help, that the Democrats chose to put up the representation of the establishment and corruption. Yeah. And at that exact moment, at that exact time, that was when the Russians finally did their work. A very interesting timing, I would say.
They bought over $150,000 worth of ads on Facebook, Dave, and that'll swing a lot of stuff. I think we're seeing Cory Booker. It's hard to tell again with masks. If we are, Cory Booker, a lot taller than I would have imagined. I didn't know he was that tall. We also see some old white guy in a naval hat, and he's sort of saluting. I don't know what his deal is, but he's there saluting. It's very hard with the masks. Who do you think that is?
I think it's the head Navy hat guy.
Yes, it's certainly. And what I like about that hat, it has rope on it. Again, a lot of exposed noses for the people. Oh, there you go. For the people who seem to be in charge of the future of the coronavirus pandemic, which has ravaged this country more than most. Yeah.
There's this weird thing that's been happening in the country where liberals are saying you got to follow the science and you got to do the science, and then you go outside and you talk to them and you realize, oh, they're not following the science.
Right.
Why don't you pick up a fucking paper and read about it? It's really simple. Right. Put it over your nose. Don't walk around outside talking to each other. Just follow the science. Also, while you talk to other people.
What's fun, Dave, is that we really do get to see what it would be like to be an elite person. And for me, that's just wish fulfillment. It's the same reason I watch the Kardashians. It's the reason why I root for the people in our government. I know that I don't get to have $1 billion. But let me just watch these people who do have fun with it. I think that's exciting. Now, Dave, as far as the coronavirus pandemic, that seems to be a big problem. I'm sure you've heard about it. I think we've talked about it. You used to be on Twitter.
No, I don't. Talk about it. I don't think so. I think that it's over now based on this election.
Do you think Joe Biden is going to be able to get this under control? And if you do, how soon after do you think it will be under control?
Gareth, I don't see how he can't. He's very competent, and only 40% of Americans won't take the vaccine. And then another 40%, maybe of that number or a different number of people also don't really believe in it. So I don't know how he can't get it under control when he basically is dealing with a population of screaming monkeys.
Right. Yes. And someone just asked that I'm not a billionaire. I am a billionaire, just a very chill one.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're very optimistic. You feel good.
Yeah. I don't know what could go wrong with this. Look, what we've done in America is we had a very, very bad sort of fascistic president, sort of nightmarishly stupid and dangerous.
Obama.
And we decided that the reason he got there was another country and had nothing to do with us having the greatest inequality in American history, incredible race issues that have never been addressed in the lifetime of our country, horrible authoritarian shit, this American exceptionalism just oozing out of every part of us. And we've decided none of that had anything to do with the big bad man getting elected. So let's do it all over again and see if it works this time by not changing anything. And I think that's the way that you address, what has happened.
Dave, I love that. I do want to put a pin in that because I don't know if you saw Hillary was wearing purple.
Oh,
she had on a very purple ensemble. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. What I like about that is purple not a combination of sort of blue and red in some way? I might be off, but I like to think it's sort of bipartisanship on outfit.
Yeah, purple's a combination of, it's not a prime color, if that's what you're saying. And I think that I've been saying for a long time that Hillary should wear more purple. And I think if you go back and look at the things that I said during her race in 2016, I kept saying purple. You guys, this is about purple. Let's get the purple on that lady. And no one heard me. And there was a lot of yellows being worn and some greens. And it was like, Jesus Christ, what are we fucking doing?
Purple was powerful. Now, Dave, we're seeing now, it looks like there's going to be a mini parade, sort of a 50-person marching parade. Boy, right. This event looks like it's brought to you by Chevy Suburban. I guarantee you none of those are electric.
I think the best thing about this is how insane it's making people all over the country who think that Trump was going to stop pedophiles, how crazy this event is making them. Because to this, they're seeing all this and they're thinking, well, now pedophiles are running wild.
Not only that, empowered.
And I'm putting out an album. It's not comedy. It's with my new band, and it's called Pedophiles Running Wild. If you guys can, that's coming out in 2 weeks.
Is it just me, or does the White House look better?
Is the White House the thing behind Congress that looks like a stadium?
I'm not going to answer that question, but it just looks better. First Lady Melania Trump did a Rose Garden makeover, and not a lot of people giving her credit for that. Really brought it. And my
understanding is she filled it with bats and other things of a blackish sort of color.
Well, I mean, come on, she works with Satan, but Joe Biden will be sleeping in the Lincoln bedroom tonight. And my question, Dave, obviously, what are the odds that he and Jill
anal?
Well, just any sort of fornication, but if you want to go backdoor, sure.
I think they do a lot of anal. I think that I think there's a lot of nights where he just can't perform, and so he probably goes down on her.
Right. Or maybe they give him the debate.
The point in their relationship where it's like, this is who we are. I'm an older man and I can take care of you. And sometimes it's not going to work out for me at all. And that's just who we are. And do
you think when Joe Biden goes down on his wife that there is a teleprompter down there alerting him as to what's happening and what he should be saying and doing?
Yeah. He's got a teleprompter everywhere. It's called a mini teleprompter. And it actually isn't like a little screen. It projects it onto her body so he can read it. And
that's cool. Sort of surgical, sort of future. I like that a lot.
Lovemaking when you get older is a little more complex.
The flags are really waving today, which I've noticed. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that there's a transition of power and we're now going to someone like Joe Biden. But it just seems like America exceptionalism is back and that we're excited. Yes.
If you read the experts on fascism, they say find the thing that you can you can ignore your history and ignore all the bad parts. And
those who are aware of
thing that
history
makes-
are doomed to repeat it.
Yes, and then you can ignore it some more, and then the next election, someone worse can come because you again haven't addressed anything. And I think that's the most important thing we're returning to, and I think it's something we need to encourage.
Now, Dave, it does appear that there is going to be a mini parade. I'm not sure what's happening. There again are a lot of Chevy Suburbans sitting out there. Biden, we have a quote from Biden, president number 46. By the way, and possibly the last time we fill that role. Biden says, quote, "Don't tell me things can't change."
Wow, he's coming out hard.
Very
the
snappy.
They have to change based on the things that he already did. So the change we're asking for is the stuff that he implemented. So it's pretty cool. The crime bill, the bankruptcy bill, the militarism,
like
all stuff that he helped do in the Senate.
It's a little like he's like the "My Name Is Earl" of presidents. He has done all these bad things, and now he's going to week by week undo them potentially. Dave, we should remind people.
I think that's a great point made by a guy who views everything through television and hasn't actually lived in the real world, and so all of his references are old sitcoms.
George W. Bush getting into a Suburban, former war criminal, president of the United States.
Great president. He did so many good things. Nothing bad I can think of. Compared to Trump, kind of everybody's good. Jeffrey Dahmer's good. Like everybody's good compared to Trump. So I think that's
strange
important.
because George W. Bush did kill a lot more people. So did Obama. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about purple outfits.
That's right.
Now, Harris has tweeted, "Ready to serve." So it is official, Dave. It's probably a good time for us to announce tomorrow night we have a live Dollop. If people want to join us for that, we have tickets available on our social medias. You can go to Looped Live and look up the Dollop, and you will see it. You can buy a ticket. It is you have 48 hours after that to have access to it. You get a password. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton waving and walking. Bill Clinton, a two-time president. Hillary Clinton just a bit outside, missed her opportunity. And they are now walking, and it's again very exciting. A lot of large gentlemen there today holding open doors. You get the idea that the Secret Service is a bigger group of gentlemen. Are there any female Secret Service members, Dave? Do you have any insight?
I'm sure there's one or two that are mixed in there.
Sure, sort of like NFL referees. Now, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama getting into their Suburban. Barack Obama, the president preceding Donald Trump. He was the president before Donald Trump.
Who's that?
That is Barack Hussein Obama.
That does not ring a bell.
It should. Now he's in there. And again, we've really seen nothing so far. I mean, we've seen the regular inauguration moments. Biden and Harris will visit the Arlington National Cemetery, I guess, just to do that before they go to the White House.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, just something to
do. And this is now they're getting the stuff that I do. Like before I have a new job, like on my first day of the job, I always spin by a cemetery.
It's a great omen. I always think go and visit corpses before starting a new job.
Let's see. Let me go look at the dead. I'm about to have a new job. Like I'm starting at 7-Eleven today. How about I spin by the cemetery and just be like, these are dead people.
Before any writing job, the morning on my way to the place, I will walk around a cemetery for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, Dave, still lost. He's walking. He looks like he's peeing on a lamppost. Just arguably intoxicated. Just a sad, sad fall from Bernie. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about how Shadow was an app that was created by the Democratic Party to count the votes in Iowa and make it murky so that people didn't know who won, so that Pete Buttigieg could say he won. The point is that they all coalesced. Now, there was that great moment, Dave. There was a great moment when Joe Biden looked like he was out for the count. It looked like it was over, done with, wasn't going to happen. And then it was about South Carolina, where at the same time, miraculously, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, some people had dropped out who were probably usurping some of Biden's
they were pressured behind the scenes.
But Elizabeth Warren stayed in. And it's Elizabeth Warren, and it seems like split the progressive vote.
Oh, she split the vote. Yeah, she split the progressive vote, and then that caused Biden to win South Carolina, which coincidentally is a state that was never going to be in play for the election, and everyone pretended like that was the most important thing that had ever happened.
It was huge,
and it was a manufactured lie. Is just incredible bullshit, and yet everybody fell for it and just ran with it, and now we have really maybe the greatest president in the history of America, our 46th president, still alive, Joe Biden.
For now, yeah. Hopefully, that's why I wouldn't take Joe Biden to the cemetery before this. He might just get some ideas and lay down for a little while.
I'd like to. An NPR host, Dr. Brown Dean, just tweeted, Congresswoman Barbara Lee is wearing the pearls that belong to Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm today. This is amazing, and it's got 23,000 likes, and I just want to point out how incredibly unimportant it is, and how focusing on things like that are what keep us from achieving anything.
Yeah, it's important to remember traditions and not realities. I always find that on days like
this.
this.
You can say that, like, look, she's wearing the same pearls that this groundbreaking black woman congressman wore, and it means nothing, but you can pretend like it does, and that's what's fun.
Symbolism is what's going to get us through this, Dave, not actualities.
Yes.
Now, if there were ever a president to leave like an upper decker or a wheel of cheese in the White House, it would be Trump, correct?
I think my guess was, and a lot of people might not know what upper decking is. It's a comedian condo thing where you take a dump in the tank part of the toilet and put the lid back on, so the next people coming in have to deal with it.
You're not going to hear this on CNN.
I would guess that Trump upper decked every toilet in the White House.
A lot of people think that's just how he goes poo. So he doesn't know any better. He just sort of sits up there like a perched bird. And now David seems to sort of be winding down. I mean, normally this would be, Biden also says we must end this uncivil war. Interesting way of putting it. I could see there is a parade of people. So there is a parade of people on Capitol Hill. I guess they're just awaiting the go-ahead of when to start the parade. But
the parade is not. Traditionally, the president would walk. The parade this time is just them driving in a car for a couple of blocks, right?
Well, they're going to the cemetery to visit some of Joe's friends. But
it's the parade is they're just driving. So essentially, it's a bunch of cars driving somewhere. It's not really a parade.
There is a parade. There are a bunch of people who are going to be playing music and marching.
There's floats, and there's going to be.
I think we're looking at a very watered down parade.
Parade. You know what they should do is they should have caskets and hearses. Let's go with the theme. Let's go with what's happening.
No, we're not going to lean into that because that is over, Dave. That is ending today.
Oh,
okay. Today, Joe Biden is going to do a bunch of bullshit. I'm not sure. Remember what it is exactly. But it's exciting. They're going to put a tomb at the unknown soldier. There's so many flags. Do you think there will ever be a time, Dave, when climate change is clamping upon us and the ignorance of the populace that has gotten us into this position will recognize its shortcomings and its issues, and we will have enough flags to wave away the rising seas and to wave away the temperatures? Do you believe that Americans' flag love is strong enough to undo years and decades of polluting our atmosphere with carbon?
Yeah, I do.
Great answer. What a great answer. That's why I love having you on these. Your insight is top notch, and there's nobody I'd rather be doing this with.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been I think anybody who's listened to me has always heard me say, look, we need to do something about climate change. We need to make more American flags.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, let's get on it. Let's take this seriously. Let's start manufacturing 1 billion flags a year, 2 billion flags a year. Let's fucking stop climate change.
I think a lot of people think instead of wearing a mask, if you hold the flag, that does as much to stave off coronavirus. And I don't disagree with them. I saw Tucker just say blow each other a kiss, and I didn't see the last part. So I thought it was going to be blow each other, which we're not going to do.
Someone asked, what are my thoughts on Harris?
Oh boy.
Well, for me, Harris is the very first president who I actually protested at different times in my life on the street, and now she's president. So I consider her to be, in any other country, she'd be considered right wing. She has had really draconian, terrible policies while she was in California. She's rather ineffectual. She failed to connect with people on such a level as a Democratic candidate for president that she dropped out before the first primary. So I think that she's going to lose to whoever the Republican is after Joe Biden dies. And I think she's going to be the exact failure that is not needed at the exact wrong time.
It's an exciting time in this country. It is exciting. It is an exciting time in this country. Well, Dave, it looks like it's wrapping down. I'm not sure. I do want to see if this parade does start in any way. But again, Joe Biden will not be there. You know, very easy to take this down. I think for the people who set this up, this is going to be a fun year. So you probably have about 1 million less folding chairs to get back up and put on those weird racks. Huh?
Did you say 1 million?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a big number, right?
It's a large number.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've seen numbers, like I've written them down. Mm-hmm. And so as far as numbers go, that one it's big. It's a big number.
It's great to have your commentary and insight during this time, Dave.
I'm a large, I do most of my commentary. I do about numbers. Like 10 is a small number.
Let's stop talking about numbers for a minute and let's start.
Don't get me started when you get into decimals, like 0.1. That's like a micro number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it actually is a fraction. And now it looks like Washington is a little back to normal. So in your head, Dave, what would you have expected by now? Is there anything you would have expected by now as far as any acts of violence? Were you, as far as I could tell, nothing has happened yet?
No, I don't think. I think that I genuinely think that the people who attacked Congress are very shocked that everybody wasn't on their side and that the country did not rise up. I genuinely think that they believe that act would cause a massive insurrection of people who also thought pedophiles controlled Hollywood and the Democratic Party. And that didn't happen because most people do actually have a slight tethered relationship to reality. So now I think they're sort of kind of shocked and they don't know what to do. And I think we're just going to get a lot of acts of terrorism.
It's exciting. It's exciting. And Dave, Dave, breaking news. The congressional leaders are going to present a gift to President Biden.
Oh my God. I hope it's a cat. I hope it's a cat. That
is exciting. Some people asking to see Jose. If you would like to see Jose, I do a show tonight, Gareth's, on YouTube, on Instagram. You can see Jose then. I'm not going to be able to track him down now.
We should say that Jose has a contract with the Dollop, and Jose, in his contract, he does not appear on morning or midday shows.
He won't. Yeah, his schedule is. Thank you, Dave. His schedule is pretty locked in there. Now, I'm not sure what they're going to present to him. I'm not sure if it's worth sticking around to see what they're going to present to him.
My understanding is my understanding is he goes to the White House. He walks up the front steps. He turns to wave. Then the bugler hands him the bugle. He drops his pants. He puts the bugle in his ass.
Right.
He farts. A really weird bugle's noise comes out. Everybody laughs, and then they go into the White House.
Well, then it is worth sticking around for. It is very exciting. And he's naming a stop test. Now, what have you thought so far about the cabinet Joe Biden is putting together? A lot of us think it's pretty exciting. There's a lot of names that ring a bell, and a lot of people who have done very symbolic things, but as far as substance goes, very little, or actually truly negative things. What do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it's one of the darkest episodes that I've seen yet. I think it's great to see, you want to fight fascism. You have this rising tide of fascism, and the experts, the people you listen to, professors on fascism, the experts on fascism, they always say, get the most corrupt people in there, get the people from industry in there, because as Mussolini said, it's not really fascism. It should be called corporatism because it's the merger of the corporate and the state. And so that's sort of what you're seeing. So it's an exciting moment when you just see these people elevated from positions and companies in which they already were purely corrupt to now have more power and more influence and not be able to give the people actually what they need, but to service corporations. And I think that's how we'll get through this, is by all dying at some point.
An exciting message, if I've ever heard one.
Thank you.
Dave, just to let you know, you are now being called a radish. So we have.
I guess that means I'm red on here. Do I look red?
I wouldn't worry. Don't try to read too much into what vegetable they call you.
Is it my hair?
No, you've done nothing wrong. You've done everything right. It's just,
I should tell people that below camera, I slowly round down to a lengthy sort of tail thing.
Your penis is that of a radish.
That's right. My penis looks like the root part of a radish, the dangling, hanging guy, and then I have no legs.
Yep. Yeah, it's quite a scene back there. But
That's right.
Either way, fascinating. Look, I mean, really, just the level of affluence at an event like that, it's teetering on unrelatable, but thankfully,
oh my God, Gareth, that's the whole point of this is if I was living in a country in which 400,000 people had died and millions are teetering on the brink of just economic collapse in ways we haven't seen since the 30s, I would not have a large celebration. I would actually say, hey, I'm one of you. I wouldn't have Lady Gaga. I wouldn't have Jennifer Lopez there. I would say, hey, you know what? We're going to do a really small event. I'm going to say, I understand your suffering and your pain. And what am I saying? I would get fucking everybody there.
Speaking of Lady Gaga, Dave, Lady Gaga,
I love a party, and that's what matters.
Lady Gaga now leaving. Lady Gaga's dress has its own zip code legally. That was an enormous base of address. And now everyone's pretty much cleared out. DC is back to being DC, just the cesspool of bullshit and corruption where corporations speak and power is all that matters, and unchecked power. Every president has gotten more powerful. You could say Obama, Clinton, then their predecessor, Trump. Now, do you expect Biden to in any way pull back the amount of power the presidency has, or do you expect him to, just like every other president, expand the presidential powers?
He'll expand the presidential powers in ways that we find really disturbing on the left, and no one to the right of us will get. And then when it's used against them in the coming fascist regime, they'll understand that it was a problem. But by then it'll be too late. So I think that on certain issues, he'll be pressured to go left, like getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline, which should have happened a decade ago, but didn't. Stuff like that.
Paris Climate Accord.
We'll see some surfacey stuff that doesn't go nearly as far as it needs to go, and then on the draconian stuff, the militarization of the police, the more powers to law enforcement, the foreign wars, that'll be cranked up, and that's exciting because I like to see socialists in other countries suffer at the hands of my country and with the tax dollars that I use. And what the great thing about my tax dollars is being someone on the left, being a leftist, I've actually never had a representative in Congress or anywhere else that I voted for that actually represents my beliefs. So essentially I'm living in a state of taxation without representation. If anybody heard about that when we were kids. Anyway, I'm a leftist.
Hi. Please stop talking. Very terrible stuff is coming out of you. Now, Dave, there was a comment. Are you excited to watch the next inauguration from Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. There's certain countries that are on the game plan right now that the wife and I discuss, and we're making certain moves. But yeah, I would love to be in Ireland for the next. I would like to be in a place where none of this affects me emotionally, and I'm not a part of it, and I can.
I think we would all love that so much.
I want to ignore it.
Yes, I think that a lot of people don't understand that if you are paying attention to what's happening in America, it can be quite a depressant when you see other countries starting to actually get their shit together to some extent, or at least have a plan. It's very upsetting. Now, do you think that Joe Biden, while we agree that Joe Biden is, not an ideal person to be sitting in this position, do you think he will be able to get the coronavirus under control? Is there a situation? Is there a way that he can get this under control? You're shaking your head very early.
No, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's just tons of people who don't believe in it, and a ton of people who don't believe in vaccines and won't take vaccines. So that seems like a combination that is exactly what you don't need to get the virus under control. So it's sort of a, hey, everybody, we're going to keep doing this for maybe 4 more years, because why? Why wouldn't we?
Who won the election? That's awesome.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people don't realize is if we had President Clinton in office when the virus came, that the result and the actions from the right may have actually been warfare. Like, these people are so out of their fucking minds that any sort of rules she tried to clamp down would have caused them to fucking lose their minds and really go crazy. Like, we haven't seen them go crazy yet. They're going to go crazy.
So do you think that there is, well, so we have a people problem in this country.
Yeah.
Now there, I was reading some stuff about how, okay, let's say there are 30, let's say there's 30% at the end of this that will not take the vaccine, will not do it. Frontline workers, whatever, that amount.
It'll be less than that, because a lot of them are going to be forced to by their businesses and to get on planes.
That's what I was just going to say. So
you're going to find life's very hard for you if you don't take the vaccine, but they will hold out. They will definitely, there will be a large group that holds out.
But within that, there is going to be some sort, and it is going to feel a bit dystopic in the sense that you will probably now have a certification with your name, something like that, a card, some proof that you show if you want to go to a dinner or you want to go to an event or something like that, that you show. So do you think within the issues we will have, because there's no doubt we'll still have to wear masks and we'll still have to socially distance and things of that nature, but do you think even within that, in the next year, we will be able to, or even within the next 6 months, that we will be able to have some semblance of a society again, where if you have had the vaccine, you are almost able to have, you almost have a pass to a normal-ish existence? Do you foresee anything of that nature?
Well, I would actually say you will see an even more of a balkanization of America as those groups part and go to their different places and move into their little areas.
Camps.
Yeah,
right.
So everyone's going to separate a little bit more based on coronavirus as well as political beliefs and everything else.
So
it's cool.
Okay, but then within that, and this will be my last poke on this, within that, isn't that almost best case scenario for right now to some extent? I mean, considering what we have to deal with, considering the hand you're kind of dealt with, the fact that we do just have 35 to 40% of the population who just believes incorrect things, do you think that that is actually going to be a way to, have some sort of normalcy? Because you will have people saying, hey, fuck this, like, I'm ignoring the vaccine, and then the rest of us just going like, good, fuck off, go to the mountains.
I mean,
we're going to go to Shoney's.
And I think people have already done that to a large extent. Like, people are going to stop seeing relatives. You're going to stop seeing certain people, and you're going to find other people to hang around because those people are safe, and other people won't be safe, and that's how it's going to work. And I'm safe.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I think that people. Biden is signing something. Biden is signing a goddamn thing. It's not the Oval Office. It looks like he's in. It looks like he's in some sort of French tower. Nancy Pelosi has changed dresses. As absurd as that sounds, or maybe that was the dress she was wearing under her blue. I might be wrong, but Joe Biden is signing a bunch of things. I'm not sure what the fuck he is signing because you just wouldn't shut the fuck up, and now we're fucking lost. But he's signing something. Klobuchar is there. Schumer is there. Schumer with the greatest posture in government. Steny Hoyer. Schumer, Klobuchar, just Vice President Harris. And then the woman comes out. She's taking the pens. They love to give the pens out. Dave, this is what I'm here for. And he's signing another thing. He's signing another motherfucking thing. He doesn't give a shit. He's signing a bunch of shit. And I'm not sure what this shit is. But by the way, isn't it nice to just have a president whose signature doesn't look like it's a heart attack on an EKG for once? He signed a bunch of stuff. He's thanking people. Unbelievable, Dave. I don't know what he signed, but he just signed a ton of shit. He just signed so much shit. It's a little like when you're applying for a passport where someone just puts stuff in front of you and you just start signing because you don't even give a shit anymore. But wow. I don't know what it was. I don't know what he signed. But
it might have just been like
I'm lightheaded. This is a lot to do.
Cards. Did they look like birthday cards?
No, they were documents. They were things. He just did a bunch of shit. I don't know.
It could have been a life insurance policy because I don't think you can get one when you're that old. But maybe it was like to get an access key to the White House, or
it's probably a lot of access keys. It's probably to get. The
I don't know.
Key.
I don't know if there's a gym in the White House, but to go to a gym, usually you have to sign a contract.
This guy's not going to a gym. He's swimming. He's at the swimming age. When you get to Biden's age, you don't lift anymore. You swim. You just become aquatic. You become underwater. Now, Dave, likely one of those things that he might have been signing was the Paris Climate Agreement, which the United States has officially re-entered. Now, Dave,
yes, that thing that doesn't mean anything because we've gone so far past it. We need a new.
While that fell short in many climate scientists' eyes, the fact that the United States, and not to mention the fact that countries have not been even paying attention and hitting the cap limits, it still is nice to be a part of it again. Don't you agree? It feels good.
What? Biden?
To be back in the Paris Climate Agreement?
Yes, that all that stuff feels very good. It feels like, this is hopeful. We don't have a total fucking maniac in there. We can get, but look, signing the Paris Accord, we're way past it. We need more, and getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline. Yes, but that's like
these are drops in the bucket.
Like, that's like way past where we should be.
Right.
We need to pressure him to make massive change on a level that restructures our society. So that's, but it's still, look, it's fucking better. Everything's better than what it was. I mean, basically we had a guy just fucking shitting carbon all over the place. So, this is an improvement.
And a lot of people think Trump was the main source of methane leaks in the United States. Now, Dave, do you foresee, is there an issue or potentially some sort of rub in the idea that we need a government to undergo a holistic transformation in order to meet the challenges that are coming our way, and that the people in charge of this holistic change are the government? So in other words, we are asking the police to police themselves. We are asking the alcoholic, RIP to your father, to limit their own alcohol intake. Do you find that to be a bit troubling in any way?
Yeah, I think that's incredibly troubling. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think it's bad to put a guy in office who came out during the election and said, we're going to frack. That's,
it's cool. I agree. It's an exciting time. I think it's great. CNN just sticking on this this overhead shot of Capitol Hill. Really not much to see there. After Biden signed all that shit, I don't know. It felt to me like that was a huge moment. Things really peaked there. He
also signed a document that said we'll never do Medicare for all, which I think is a weird first sort of hour thing, but he wants to put the important things out front. And so the things that we can't have, the things that we're not allowed to have, I think that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on the things that every other country has that we're not allowed to. I think that's the.
But you know what else they're not allowed to have is open carry laws. You can't carry a firearm, which leads me to this mini parade. We have a bunch of it seems like veterans who are various branches of our military walking up the stairs with guns. We've seen this before, Dave. I'm hoping the Capitol Hill police are going to put a stop to this. We've got a bunch. It feels like an insurrection. They are marching in place, but they still have their swords. God, we love a parade, don't we, Dave?
I love a parade.
We love the showmanship of all of this. It is very exciting. You can tell this is just It means a lot. Now, can we take a minute, Dave, and talk about some of your super liberal friends who finally feel like everything is back together? Are you envious of them because of the cluelessness they have in this, that they are able to enjoy themselves and let out a sigh of relief? Or are you happy to be in the position you are, where knowledge equals power, and you can prepare for your exodus to Ireland before the shit really gets clogged in the fan?
Well, I'm excited because, I can see this for what it is, and I saw this. This is how I felt when Obama came in. I don't have really any different feelings. It's the same train we're on, which I think is exciting because I've been here before and I understand it. And I actually have liberal friends who've stopped talking to me because I'm not excited about Biden.
I'm among them. I'm one of the only people who will talk to you during this.
What's that?
I'm among the people who have cut you out. I will only talk to you during things of this nature. And Jennifer, thank you for my Jose mug. Yes, I still use it. Yes, I still love it. People wonder if I keep the things they give me. I do.
Yeah,
I have a lot of mugs.
We all keep the Jose mugs.
Lot of mugs. Got a lot of mugs. And you can see the military's marching again, Dave. We love our military in this country. It's where all of our money goes. When you look at your paycheck to see where your tax dollars are going, you better believe it's going to the goddamn military. We will kill every invisible enemy we invent. We really will. No doubt.
There's nothing more exciting than starving to death and watching all of my money go to kill other people.
Now, Dave, not to jump in on there, I didn't hear everything you said, but it sounded light. Comedian Jon Stewart is taking part in the inaugural parade.
Hey!
Castrated, or do we feel like he's still a voice of reason?
Oh, no, he's a voice of a lack of understanding of what's happening, but an important one because he gets to make fun of it and make everyone feel like they're doing something when they're actually not.
Fantastic. Being rich, it's just in this country, being rich is permission to let your thoughts go. That's really is. And we have a bunch of, and say, Andrea Day is going to perform Rise Up at the parade. So there is a parade, Dave. They are going ahead with some sort of a parade. Seems like it might be poking the bear a little bit.
Well, there's actually guys in Revolutionary War gear marching, which is exciting.
Yes, marching in place. And we've got one of those English bobbies. It looks like, one of those English guards. Actor Tony Goldwyn will participate in the parade. I don't know who the fuck he is, but congratulations.
That's actor Tony Goldwyn.
Oh, yes, that's the one. Thank you for clarifying. Boy, we really do hold on to a bunch of old bullshit and keep doing it, don't we, Dave? That's what I think when I look at all these drums and guns and armed people. It just really is quite a shit show. This country, this country is the sort of country. If this country were to, in my opinion, be a car, it would be the breaking down Honda that sounds like shit, won't start properly, but has the new rims on it.
Can I say something that would be amazing at this moment is if a bunch of Oath Keepers, militia guys did attack right now, and they ended up having to fight in the street. Again, all of the guys in the Revolutionary War uniforms who are marching in the parade, and it was just a giant, crazy battle of 1776 versus
today,
the modern day.
Give me more powder, Joseph. Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the way, if they were going to do it, today would be the day. But again, really nothing super eventful happening, Dave. I don't want to say.
Let's go. I want to. Someone, by the way, someone tweeted, "America is a third world country with a Gucci belt." That is exactly right. Let me see if I can go back. They just put up on screen. It went away. They put up all the things he's doing today, and there was a big list of stuff that he's signing. So that's
Yeah. Well, great. He's signing. He's going back into the Paris Accord. He is undoing the Keystone Pipeline. He's certainly not doing anything about student loan debt. I'm not sure what else he's doing, but he's doing a few things today. He's got a busy day. It will be interesting, Dave, to see what the Trumpers are like in a week. I mean, are you feeling any sense of relief in any way about there being nothing today, or do you think this is just not done yet? We're just
Well, it all depends on where the military guys and the cops sort of land on everything. Like I'm not feeling a sense of relief because I know that 86 or 90% of cops were Trump supporters. So that's like a fucking terrifying idea that the guys, and everybody already knew it. They've always been on that level. But now if they actually think that we don't have a legitimate president, well, what the fuck does that mean?
That means that they can do whatever the fuck they want and not worry about it. Dave, things he's going to sign today responding to COVID-19. He's issuing a federal mask mandate. Now, really what that means is that's during interstate travel or on federal grounds. So he really can't enforce it for every American in any way. It can only be enforced for people who work in the government for the most part. He's going to extend nationwide restrictions on home evictions and foreclosures. That is a good thing. Again, it does not go anywhere. He's going to continue to pause student loan payments, not forgive, and push for passage of the 1.9 trillion COVID relief. Overturning Trump actions today, rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, and ending the Muslim ban, quote unquote. Which restricted travel from Syria, Iran, Iraq, Sudan, Libya, Somalia, Yemen, and before adding Eritrea, Nigeria, Myanmar, Kyrgyzstan, and Tanzania in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's certain things you can do. Like I know an undocumented person, and I'm going to do everything I can starting now to get her citizenship because that's what she wants. So I'm gonna, I have the ability to help stuff like that. That's kind of stuff that we need to do. If we have any ability, help people who.
He also today, Dave, will be signing. He wants to go to 100% clean energy by 2050, something that every scientist in the climate community will tell you falls far short of reality as far as what we need. Some of the stuff, another thing that he's doing, I think one of the main reasons why some people like guys like you and I voted for him, to preserve some rights for transgendered people, transgender students, transgender people in the military. And he wants to conserve 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. First 100 days, he wants to build back better with alliteration. Climate, he wants to organize a climate world summit. He wants to repeal the tax cuts. But again, I mean, these are tax cuts for the super rich. Obama.
No, hold on. Repealing the tax cuts doesn't do anything. Increasing the taxes on the rich is what needs to be done. So again, repealing puts us back to where we were.
A 91% tax on the rich is what we need. No fucking joke. Yes. He's also going to work on loopholes in gun background checks and the violence against women. He wants to protect. He wants in the Violence Against Women Act, he wants to offer more protections for women as well as include transgendered women in there. And then lastly, push to pass the Equality Act, a bill to add more protections for LGBT Americans. So while there are a tremendous amount of symbolic bullshitty things he's doing, there are the rights of certain people in this country who will breathe a sigh of relief under Biden. So essentially, I think in summation, because it does. Oh, wait, there's something happening, Dave. Some bullshit is happening. Hold the fucking phone, you asshole.
What's happening?
What's that guy's? I can't remember the guy's name. He's a Republican shitheel. He is talking to Joe and Jill at a Golden Hawk. He's at a Golden Hawk podium. By the way, the guy who stole the speaker's podium stole the wrong fucking podium. You should see this thing. It could not look more like it belongs to a French king in the 1400s.
Always steal the golden podium. Don't take the wood ones. Get the golden one.
They're giving him a painting. Joe Biden is being gifted a painting. It is of a rainbow and of a sort of a pasture. And it's a rainbow and there's a mountain and it's a beautiful gift. And again, if I were him, I'd say, give me the fucking podium. This thing is beautiful. But they're presenting gifts. The first is a painting. Now, Dave, a lot of people think that the people who are in our government are so goddamn rich that if we just tax them and stop letting them lead these affluent lifestyles, that potentially that would help Americans feel more connected to their politicians. That's a bunch of hot air, right?
Yeah, that's nonsense. Why would taxing people and taking away their money and giving it to poor people help anybody?
Exactly. That's a fabulous point you've made there, Dave.
Thank you.
Very awkward.
You know what we
just
need,
giving-
and I've been saying this, is we need rainbow paintings and rainbow pictures.
I've got great news for you. We've got a beauty right here. This is unbelievable. It's good to see that Joe Biden, while knowing that there are all these looming crises, he's going to take a minute to just accept a painting. I think that's sweet. I like that.
I mean, that's why we love him, is because he's a guy that can say thank you for this painting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
100%. 100%.
Painting people are important people, and people who make the paintings and people who take the paintings are very important. You know, I just want to make a comment about the golden eagle podium or whatever it is, lectern.
Sure.
It's very Nazi-ish, which is, I think, is really
gorgeous.
Cool.
It's a beautiful shout out to the Nazis.
Yeah, it's something that you would see in an old Hitler photo.
Oh,
and so that's pretty cool. I just like that there's shades of weirdness happening.
It's almost a little bit like The Price is Right here. Joe Biden just walking around from gift to gift. Amy Klobuchar gifting him with what looks like 2 shot glasses that Rick Moranis blew up with his laser gun from Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. These are just big, dumb glasses. And again, it's just all symbolic. It's so stupid, Dave. It's just all
it's really
so
stupid. And here's what's exciting. Gareth, do you remember any of this from when you were younger? Do you remember this happening on Inauguration Day? Well, you know what? It didn't happen. And you know why it didn't? Because this didn't used to be an event that was sold to networks to make money and to sell ads. And now Inauguration has gone from being like a half-hour, 1-hour event that you had during the day to an all-day event and an all-night event, because we've turned Inauguration into the Super Bowl to make money. The government, the Democrats are making money off of this. That's really awesome. And it's really cool to see, to just watch an event being turned into a way to stretch out the hours and to just make it a long, crazy day to sell ads. Congratulations to everybody. It's very American.
Yes, I think it's fantastic. I think we would all agree that the connection the media has to the government and their inability to report on what is actually going on has enabled, dare I say, emboldened political people. And look at this. Mitch McConnell removing his shell from his face to talk for a second. Who wouldn't want to hear this? This is what I love about Tom Hanks is at the ceremony this evening, Dave. This is what I love about our government, Dave. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you've completely been one of the most corrupted, racist politicians we've had in modern history. What matters is that we can all come together and just say, hey, fuck it. We're rich as shit. Let's keep this theater going for another 4 years and hope that people don't rise up.
That's right. And I'd just like to say, the reason Tom Hanks is there is because Tom Hanks is going to make a brief appearance in the live Dollop we're doing tomorrow night.
That's right.
He's not going to be with us. He's going to be as part of the story. And so he's there because he's going to bring up the fact that everyone should watch the live Dollop tomorrow night and hear a little bit of a fact about Tom Hanks, which is exciting.
Wasn't it more fun when Mitch McConnell was being overtaken by evil blackness in his hand and face?
I feel like it was.
It was a better time.
Yeah.
It was a better time. Mitch McConnell gifting him with 2 folded flags. Surely there's going to be some sort of dark affiliation with those. It's exciting.
What is happening that this just turned into like an old QVC? It's like it looks like a fucking show on QVC now where they're talking about and I guarantee he's giving these away and then you're going to be able to buy commemorative versions of it. Like, what in the fuck is going on? Well, they're going to sell these. This is all a way to make money. I guarantee you they will sell these fucking cups they're doing in the painting. This is fucking crazy what's happening right now.
I'm not going to sit here and let you just pretend that the Democratic Party is just like a telethon. I'm not going to do that. Nancy Pelosi speaking from behind her rosed mask, surely a mask valued at around $2,000, without question. The relatability of the speaker is something that's been called into question over the past couple of years, Dave. I still think she is unbelievably relatable. She's a woman of the people. She's always worried about the children. There are times when I think she looks a little bit more like Michael Jackson than a human, but other than that, I think she has always just been one of our greatest speakers. And the fact that she has two $12,000 fridges and they're filled with ice cream and she shows them off during a pandemic. Some people say that's tone deaf. I say that's taste deaf. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I think that like that's a way to say to people like, look, I know things are hard and I know things are really bad out there, but what about some ice cream? Like look at the moments that you can right now enjoy. And I get you can't afford ice cream, blah blah blah. But what if you could afford ice cream? Then
and
you
could
would
afford
taste
so
ice
much
cream
of it.
and you would feel better. So think about ice cream if you could have it. Get a picture of it.
I think what we're saying is, can we not all just be happy for Nancy Pelosi for getting away with making so much money in office?
Thank you.
And there's her husband, also a total corrupted dickhole. Just amazing. And there's Mitch McConnell and his wife, whose name escapes me, but she stayed in the administration until the last week, Dave, and that's right. She said, no more.
Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, no
Fuck
more.
You, Trump. I'm out here a week before it ends, and that's why she's standing there instead of in jail where she should be, or in some sort of re-education camp, which I think we should talk about, opening re-education camps. Let's get there. Let's make it part of the conversation. How can we put all these people in camps to make them think differently? Let's talk about it.
It must be nice to have a wardrobe budget like some of these people. That's all I can think. Now, David, appears that Joe Biden, again, walking off. It looks that he is potentially at this point bionic. He might be part robot. I'm not sure how it keeps going. But yeah, I
want to let's take a moment to congratulate women who got a vice president, not a president. Look, you didn't deserve that. Did you deserve that? It's been how many years? A couple hundred years. Should you have had a president? Probably not, but a VP. Hey, congratulations. It's really time. It's time to have an almost job.
But to be fair,
time to almost get a thing.
It's a bit like being Carol Channing's understudy towards the end of her Broadway career. There's a good chance you have to go up. There's a good chance you're going to have to go up. There really is. I mean, good Lord. If Joe Biden gets a mole that looks funny, she's going to need to get sworn in temporarily.
And what's better for women than to get a president who wasn't elected but got in there because an old white guy died? I think that's
a loophole. And I believe Kevin McCarthy, is speaking, which is if true, again, I can't tell because under the mask, but if true, is totally fucking shocking. Kevin McCarthy, enormous asshole, huge prick. But here we are just going through the motions. And I believe very strongly this is Kevin McCarthy now talking at Joe Biden. We're really seeing bipartisanship.
Do you remember when every single time a Democrat has been, a Republican has been elected president, they've allowed the minority speaker, the Democratic Party representatives to speak, because that's what you do. Everybody, that's what Republicans do. They're like, hey, everybody, all Democrats, come on, have a talk. And you ignore the fact that that these people, these Republicans, McCarthy and McConnell, are fucking monsters.
Whoa.
To a degree that they shouldn't be allowed in society because they're so fucking vile. Just fascist beliefs, just horrible fucking people on a level that they should be scared to be seen in public. And yet here they are sharing the stage because of unity.
They're the only ones who can go out in public.
That's right.
Dave, very meta president from Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy giving both the president and the vice president their own framed gifts of their swearing in, meaning that Kevin McCarthy had to get these pictures, run off to an Aaron Brothers, get it framed, get it fitted, get all that stuff, and then get it back in time for this ceremony. I mean, if that guy could come up with, if he could run a government like he could run a painting exchange, this would be unbelievable.
No, he's always been
what an optimist I'd be.
In Congress. He's always been, they call him the photo guy. Like he's really good at turning around photos.
I did not know that. I did not.
No, he gets all all kinds of photos, and it's a great. Like if I was president today and I had a really shit turnout, I would want a photograph of that. Here's your empty. I guarantee you, the Republicans are going back and going, how hilarious is it that I gave Joe Biden a photograph of a giant empty venue?
Yeah,
like a third full. I mean, we really made an ass out of him, and he accepted it graciously. But it was a fucking real. I mean, this is an enormous dig. Like here's your shitty empty. I guarantee right now Trump is laughing, and he's going to show this to everybody and go, look how many people came to Joe Biden's event.
Yeah.
Even though it's about COVID, but still, this is
this is
amazing.
Now, the thing that I really enjoy is how there's not a person under 70 in the room right now, except for the vice president and her husband.
There shouldn't be.
Everyone else is just so old. So
there shouldn't
old.
be young people anywhere. And by young people, I mean anybody under 70.
Steny Hoyer must be 90 years old.
Yeah.
Joe Biden
barely can move. He doesn't know what's happening.
Gorgeous.
Nancy Pelosi, you can watch her mind slowly. Compare Nancy Pelosi to 5 years ago. She's slower.
Dave,
it's great to watch.
How great was it when after the murder of George Floyd, where the Democrats went into the Capitol and they all took a symbolic knee instead of listening to what any of their constituents wanted, they took a knee, and how long it took them all to get up from one knee. It was just a room full of 80-year-olds like, I can't, ow.
And the other part of that is that was their morning Tai Chi. So they also, it was a combination event.
Okay, now, Dave, they are leaving Capitol Hill. Joe Biden has gotten all of his Price is Right gifts. Now he's leaving. Well, and now he's going to review the troops. I can't believe how long this goes on. It is absolutely fucking disgusting.
Like I said, they've stretched the event out. It's now just a bunch of pointless nonsense that nobody cares about. No one wants to watch, but everyone's excited that their president is in there. So they're going to sit around and watch it because they're just like, I feel better. Just Trump's gone. So it's a great way to make money. You can sell ads. You can do a lot of stuff with this.
That's true. Although I will say not a lot of ads so far. Although normally there's tons of ads. The military band is just sort of standing there. Oh, now Joe Biden's walking out. Now Dave is walking out as president. I mean, this shit's going to go on forever.
Yeah.
So we should probably, if you want to call it in the next 10 minutes, we can maybe give any part. It seems like the fun has really ended. Now it's
the fun has definitely ended. Now we're just going through the motions of something that nobody.
It's after the wedding, and now there's just
nobody wants to see this part. This is the part where you're like, hey, why don't you guys go off and take photos? We're going to go to the bar and
go take some gin shots and maybe a Vicodin because we like to cut a rug at these events. Now, again, just a lot of delaying, a lot of just an unbelievable amount of pageantry. Dave, also Bruce Springsteen, Justin Timberlake, and JBJ, John Bon Jovi, will be playing tonight. So it's a real who's who. That's exciting. And again, we've already got Tom Hanks, and who else knows who's there? I mean, we've already had Lady Gaga, J-Lo, and Alex Rodriguez.
I mean, when there's a president that has Wu-Tang be the first performing.
By the way,
that's more of my speed.
Only if there's an ODB hologram. That's the only
way out there. Like, let's actually make this fun.
Only if we get an ODB hologram. So, Dave, all right. Well, this is pretty much wrapping up our coverage. We will not be doing it again tonight. If you would like to see more comedy without Dave, you can come back to this YouTube channel tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Shut up, Dave. But Dave, any parting thoughts? Anything that you would like to say? We will try to do another one of these at some point when I would just like to say, look, everybody has, we all have good feelings that Trump is gone. That's great. But watching them immediately come around and embrace McCarthy and McConnell is a fucking terrible sign. Terrible sign for what's coming. They don't know what's happening. They don't know who the bad guys are. Well, they are part of the bad guys, but they don't know how really shockingly evil Republicans are. And they're just going to keep playing the same game that should have stopped, honestly, in 1982. Yep, I agree with that year. But I'll also say, Dave, you ever heard of tripartisanship? It's not just an attitude. It's a lifestyle. And they're walking out. I'll say this. It is, yes, let's have a dose of optimism for sure. But let's also be very realistic that we have a plethora of problems. And the last thing that is going to get us through them is marginal changes and incremental shifts in how we actually do things. What we need is a full-on change of government. People were mentioning that when the Capitol insurrection took place, the outrage from the establishment media and from our politicians was, oh my God, how can this happen? I think from a lot of people on the left, it was, why is this happening over fake shit? Now, if that was over Medicare for all, or that was over a $22 minimum wage or forgiving student loan debt, Those are things that would potentially make you excited. But unfortunately, we really do need to not celebrate any individuals, and we need to stop celebrating individuals and stop falling in love with politicians. You need to fall in love with policy. Remember, if they don't do anything, they're not your friend. So you need to really, really push them, and we need to push Joe Biden to the left. It probably won't work. So then we're going to need to really do some enormous shit. So
if you don't want fascism, if you don't want a very competent Trump coming in 2024, you have to push Biden every single fucking day to do all of that shit. Cancel debt, change the way we have structured our society around fossil fuels, defund the fucking police. Jesus Christ, we all know why now. We saw them open the gates for all the people to rush into the Capitol. Defund them. It all has to happen if you don't want a fucking fascist in power in 2024.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that is very, very true. We need to hope for the best, but in all reality, prepare for the worst, because I do not think that we are going to get what we need out of this person. Because again, a president is not a president. It is a person who represents the corporations. That is what they represent. And that is fucking crazy. And we need to change that from both parties, because we only get two in this country. It's nice to see preservation of certain rights, but we have a lot more we have to do. So it's a long to-do list. And if someone says they're only going to check off 3 things on it, that's inadequate. So on that note, thank you everybody for joining us for this. We will leave this up so you can watch. Thank you for everyone who donated. No sweat if you did not. And remember, tomorrow night we have a live Dollop. You can go to Looped Live, January 21st, Looped Live, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We have a live Dollop. These, again, will be gone after 48 hours. So you have 48 hours to watch it at your leisure. But then after that, it will be gone. So hopefully join us. And that is everything. Anything else, Dave? Anything else you want to say, Radish boy?
No, just that we're all fucked.
All right. That's an awesome ending. Enjoy, everybody. Bye-bye.